Good afternoon, Andrew here, back to Health Wellness. I hope you're well. Today I want to discuss knees in this video. My right knee in particular, which I injured 13 years ago playing football, sustained an ACL rupture and a cartilage tear, and I managed it conservatively since then. So in this video I want to share with you things that I've done, things that I feel help to maintain and manage knee pain and general good function of the knee. Hope you find this useful. Enjoy. Since the injury in my right knee 13 years ago, it doesn't fully lock out. You'll probably be able to see the difference if I bring my legs together. I can straighten out the left leg and a bit more, whereas on the right it doesn't go. So all the degeneration that's occurring in my knee as a result of the injury, which I've worked very hard to strengthen the muscles in and around the knee to support it, but the degeneration is there, and there's no, you can't get away from that, and the weakness is there. You see that this knee looks a bit bigger, larger in terms of the size of the kneecap compared to this one. Okay, so this kind of movement, probably something you didn't expect me to talk about. Often when people talk about hip mobility, it's about doing things like glute stretches and things that involve really taking the hip through a great range, and where all of those things are useful, it's something that people can try to improve their knee, for those, particularly those that are trying for the very first time, and they can try and do these things and they may feel that it causes more harm than good, whereas it's more how they're doing it that's probably the problem. So something I like to introduce here is just trying to sit in a cross-legged position. Now, not often a move that you will consider doing day to day. You come home from sitting at a desk, and then last thing you want to do is then go sitting on the floor. But it's actually a very good way to improve hip flexibility without really thinking of it as an exercise. I'm very lucky enough to have to do this every single week because I go to a temple and I have to sit cross-legged because we have to sit down on the floor, on the carpet. So I think that's helped massively in my management of my knee over the years, and it's something that I feel can benefit you too. Often where the hip itself is also quite restricted, and that doesn't allow the knee to go through its general range, because again it's focused on just being strong and stable and limiting movement that involve twisting, rotating in and around the knee. So the hip will be sacrificed, hip movement will be sacrificed, and it becomes stiffer. So you'll find that people that have issues with the knee also can't straighten or get their legs down. If they attempt to sit cross-legged, they'll often find themselves in positions like this where they can't get their legs down, or they'll be leaning back like this, really arched and holding on to their legs because of tight hips. So essentially cultivating more movement or better movement flexibility in the hips will help the knees, and I think this will help with day-to-day, just general day-to-day, and obviously the body will find a way to recover if there's any injuries that you might get in the knee. It will also recover better too. So practicing sitting down cross-legged, I think, has helped my knee for many years, and it's something that you can do yourself day to day. Just sit down or attempt to sit. You might end up starting by getting down, and you can't really get let me take my shoes off so you can see the feet. For you can't smell how bad they smell right now, which is good, but you can just work trying to get down first and trying to get the legs into a position where you can get them cross-legged. There might be a bit of a problem because of your back, or you might your hips will be limited. This will tie in with the knee being restricted too. So just trying to get the legs into a position where you can even get them here, and even holding on, if you can't get the legs down, and just hold on for a few minutes or so, really try and enjoy. And if the knee itself is finding a difficulty trying to, allow you to drop the leg down, or you're getting pain in the back or the hip, move around, come out from that position, and then just try and stretch it into a position where it's comfortable. But it's just trying to cultivate these kind of movements day to day. If you can try and get them going, spend 10 minutes in your day just trying to get some hip movement in, and then try and sit cross-legged. You'll find that you might end up going from a position where you're like this to eventually a bit more comfortable on your back, because the muscles of the hip and the back are becoming lengthened because they're getting this regular movement every day. And then you'll start to maybe notice that the knee then starts to drop a little bit better, because the hip is then, the knee and the hip, I should say, is dropping better, which is showing that the knee is coming down a bit more. And then you'll find that you might be able to get further and closer and closer and closer towards sitting in a more neutral, kind of comfortable position. Also, you'll find that there'll be areas of resistance inside the groin, the buttock. These things you can stretch out, even in these seated positions, bringing one leg over and then just pulling it across to try and open out some of the muscles in the buttock, or in the groin, or in the hip. You could work on trying to open out the groin a little bit like this, and just really trying to press through the legs and really stretch through the groin, or hold onto the feet and bend forward. You should get a nice stretch through here. These things will also help on your path to kind of getting the legs down and sitting more relaxed. But the real key here is to just gradually, daily, try and practice this. Just 10 minutes, even if you're not successful, just keep doing it, and you'll notice that the body will over time start to become more comfortable with you doing so. And then that will help the knee, and you'll find that the knee will become more mobile, more flexible. It'll help you on your walks, and you'll be better off for it. So I thought I'd share this with you today. So focus, concluding, just improve the hip mobility, flexibility to help the knee. And of course, looking at the foot, that's another thing for another day. But yeah, often you'll find that just working on back mobility and hip mobility, your knees will thank you for it. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. All the very best. See you around.